but that's okay. Let's enjoy our Friday and celebrate some sales this week, and we had a good training. If we had last night, I think there was 21 people on our Thursday night new agent training. And if you're missing those Thursday night calls, you don't have to be a new agent to be on those. You can be an experienced agent. We usually do stuff. So last night we had Daniel on there, and he was going over Linktree and how he is using different resources to try to get more people to answer their phones, right? And so that's kind of what Daniel spoke on last night. Did a really good job. Next Thursday night, we asked the agents what they wanted, and they were talking about maybe rebuttal. So we're going to do a kind of a like a just a quick response rebuttal, and there'll be several experienced agents on there. We'll kind of bounce it off each one, let them tell what they would say to it. So next Thursday is going to be fun. If you're an experienced agent, you want to jump on that board with us, let me know and get on there Thursday night, and we'll do that. So that's a week from last night. And guys, guess what we got coming up here in about 2 weeks from Monday? So just 16, 17 days. Momentum 2025. Kat is not on yet, so she said she's going to be about 15 minutes late. So before the end of this call, we're going to let Kat get on and kind of tell you updates of what's going on, some of the speakers. I know yesterday we were able to manage, in my opinion, the best annuity speaker I've ever heard. I went to Kansas City and saw him at a conference, just a young kid, but blew me away. I'm like, dude, that was the best annuity presentation I've ever seen. And so I reached out to him and said, hey, Asher, would you come and speak at the convention? And he had to clear his schedule and get his company to help send him that way. But he called yesterday and said, yeah, he's in. So we got some really, really good speakers lined up for us. So don't forget, man. Make sure everybody is up momentum. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. It's going to be what a great opportunity just to go hang out, visit, have lunch, and just get to know each other, and while we're there. So that's going to be really cool. If you're not going, it's not too late. Make plans on going, guys. We still got room for everybody and lots of room. Invite people. We still got 2 weeks. Get as many people there as possible. And I think we're going to have Kat's going to be telling us later on how we can be sending invites and what you can do to help us get more people there. Because ultimately, we need people to show up, right? Um, let's do a little celebrating this week's sales. MJ or Marianne, whichever one of you have it, can you put up yesterday's sales reports or this week's sales reports? And so let's go over what it looks like this week. There we go. For the week three sales summary, 36,426.06 was reported, and almost every bit of that was life sales. I don't think we have very much AOM sales reported this week, but great job. So let's look at our top 10, the way it stacks up. And do you have that? Very good. So if we just look at well, it starts off with top 10. We got Lavender Palmer, 1260, Connie Brown, 1465, Stephanie E. I'm not going to try to butcher that one. 1600, Ivy, 2300, Markow, 2400, fifth or sixth place. Fifth place, Todd at 2677, Gail at 2881. Misha, 4944. Daniel Davis, 5936. And Shaminka Moses, Shaminka, 6,392. Got to see her on top of the leaderboard for the first time. Give Shamika a shout out. Good job, Shamika. Proud of you, girl. And guys, we know I didn't even put my numbers last week. I got busy, and I tell people to put your numbers up, but I don't even think I reported my numbers. So make sure that you're getting your numbers reported, and realize we only had 15 people turn their numbers in. I know we got a lot more selling, and we've actually had people sold at more levels than that, but those are numbers reported, and that's all we can go off of is what you turn in. So really proud of you guys, and that's a good week. 36,000, and we're going to get to the point where it's going to be 100,000 every week, very quickly. So we're going to get there, especially once we start seeing our advanced market numbers get back in place and working those again. It seemed like just maybe because Scott stepped away, we kind of took a back seat to advanced market. But we know we're going to get those plugged back in, and those will bring our numbers up double, twofold. So good job. What else we got going? So let's see. I wanted to talk today about direction, about where we're headed with some different verticals, right? So go ahead and clear that screen if you don't mind. We've been talking about veterans for a little bit. If you guys know me, I was doing mortgage protection, and that was what I kind of built my business on when I was a school teacher because it made a lot of sense. If you wanted to work part time, mortgage protection made a lot of sense to you, right? If you're a part-time worker, you work during the day. I was a school teacher and a wrestling coach, and so what I would do would get my leads during the day, and during my planning period, I would call. And when it wasn't during wrestling season, I was calling setting appointments. So I'd get out of school at 3:30, and then I was driving all over across the state of Oklahoma. No, I mean, regardless how far, 2 or 3 hours sometime, just for one appointment. So I would set my appointments up during planning period and say, hey, I'm going to be, available tonight about 5:30, and or whatever time it might be. If I had two appointments, I'd set them up, and I would drive in the evenings and go run my appointments. It just made sense as a part-time job. It's mortgage protection is the way to go. So that's what I did because I didn't have time like most of us do to sit there and dial all day long because I'm teaching, right? I just couldn't do it. So I learned how to sell life insurance through mortgage protection because that platform fit my schedule. And that's what I did. And it worked great. I bought expensive mortgage leads, but that's okay. That's what I wanted because I knew if I needed a lead that I can actually call them. They're going to answer and I could set my appointment. They knew it was the importance, the urgency behind it. And those are great leads. If you are a part-time agent and maybe you're working throughout the day and you don't mind driving and doing that, and I did that for a long time and did very well until you guys know most of you know my story, but I kind of started losing my eyesight started going pretty bad on me. My wife, I remember we were driving and at nighttime and lights were hitting me in the eyes and I wasn't staying in the road. And when we get home, we have a little heart to heart. And she's like, Darren, I worry about you driving at nighttime. Well, and at mortgage protection, drive, that's what I was doing, driving a lot of nights. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand. She says, you need to transition from in home and start selling over the phone. Well, if you've never done that, it's not as easy as people think, right? You're like, oh, great. I'm just going to start calling on the phone. There is an art to selling on the phone. There really is. And we've been teaching you guys that. A lot of times we get a new agent come on board and they want to start doing it the way Daniel does it, right? Or the way lots of other experienced agents. Well, Daniel's been selling on the phone for a long time. That's how I met Big Red. Is he was a dialer for me. I hired him on to be my dialer, so I knew that he knew how to do phone sales. He was good on the phone. But to make a sell on the phone, you got to be quick on your feet, right? You got to be able to handle rebuttals, and you've just got to be able to know how to transition very quickly if you're doing call to close on the phone. Now, if you're doing it like Todd does, where he sets appointments with mortgage protection, that's a little different story because you got a little bit of time to be more ready. But if you're just doing call to close, which most of us do when we're doing final expense, it's a little bit tougher of a sell. It's not like when I was going into homes and you can sit there with people and talk. But I had to learn it. And just like anything else, I was okay with that because I knew if I had a lot more time now. If I could just sit there and get up in the mornings and go to my office and just start calling at 8 o'clock, and I could sit in my office from 8 to 8 and work 12-hour days, and I could probably generate a lot more business. What I found out was I was making 2 to 3 to 4 times as much money and helping 3 to 4 times more people than I was doing mortgage protection. Why? Because I had time to sit there and actually work, right? And if you're doing a mortgage protection and nobody shows up at their home, or even a in-home final expense and they're not showing up, you've got to go to the next, and you're driving and you'll spend your whole day sometimes for no shows. If you're calling from the phone, when somebody doesn't pick up maybe an appointment and they're not there, they ghost you, it's not a big deal. I just call the next person. And so it's not like I'm spending an hour driving somewhere. So in home I began to realize there's a lot of value in selling in home, right? So then the next thing was, okay, do I want to do final expense on the phone, or do I want to find a specific market? And I found veterans is what I started working, and I fell in love with it. And I actually built a program called Veterans First, and I built it around my dad's story. My dad, I'm just going to kind of give you before I pass this off to Trisha. My dad, Delbert White, was a veteran, Navy veteran, and dad pastored church for the last 40 years of his life. Super good man. Loved him to death. He was my hero. Still is my hero. And dad would give you a shirt off his back, and I've learned a lot of life from my dad about giving, about just believing in people, and trusting God. There's a lot I've taken from my dad that I will always. And so a lot of when you see me, and you see a lot of Delbert White in me, and I'm very proud of that. Dad was a few years back. He started losing use of his legs, and he got put in the hospital. And it just got worse. He was in a VA hospital, and he was in there for about 4 months. And then he started getting bed sores, and then they got infected, and it spread all through his body. And they moved him to a hospice care the last 2 weeks of Dad's life, and he passed away in hospice. And at the end of the day, you would like to think that veterans are going to help you, being a veteran, that you get something, right? So mom put into for the VA benefits, and we got a little plaque thing that put on that copper plaque and that they give you, and then they sent 200, like less than $300, and say, here you go. And they said if he had passed away in the VA hospital, that we would have got closer to 1,800. Still not a lot, but it was better than $300, right? Better than a slap in the face. And so when we started doing our veterans program, we built it around my dad's story. Like, okay, so we would call these veterans, we would be like, so do you understand that the VA is not going to pay for your funeral? And they were like, oh, yeah, the VA. So we talked to them like, no, the VA is going to cover everything. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you the living example of what you can expect, right? And this is what they're going to cover. And then we would transition from my dad's story into let's help. So Trisha and I started working these veterans calls, and Trisha started building out. We built a program called Veterans First, and she put together an entire. I'm not sure what happened on my screen. Did y'all screen go? It's just mine, I think. Let me fix this so I'm not freaking out. Okay, and we put together an entire veterans advocacy program, and we worked that for a while. We took that program, and she kind of took it, and we went somewhere else with it. But we're bringing it back to Ages First. And I could not be more excited to pass this program off to Trisha, and she's going to be the director of Veterans First. And she's going to bring her heart and soul and her vision to this program. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to let Trisha share her heart, why she is going to embrace this vertical. So, you guys give it up to Trisha Brown this morning, and tell us what you got, Trish. It's all yours.
Hey, good morning, Agents First friends. A lot of you are familiar faces on here this morning, so that's always good. And all the new good people that are on here. I think that
Trish, can I
Darren really,
interrupt for a second? If you don't have your cameras on, and if you're able to, we know a lot of times you're able to and you just don't, but please, as respect to Trisha, if you could turn your camera on, we would appreciate that. Thank you, Trish.
yeah. So really just an honor to be on here this morning and asked to do this. It is definitely near and dear to my heart. I think of all the years and all the choices of people to serve. Why not serve the ones that already served us, right? And they really did. There was such sacrifice that really we can't even, unless you have served, really wrap our heads around. And the dynamic really was Darren was going through, um, I would like to call it disregard from the VA to his family, without, going too far into it. That it is a disregard and it is a dismissiveness that goes on in this country for our veterans, when it's time for them to pass on and their families. And so he was going through this, and then I had spent years in the field, up front and center in these veterans' homes, and seeing them, amputated, living on $900 a month, hospice coming out maybe every 2 weeks. Their family was estranged. I mean, just left in pitiful um, stature, and with no hope and no one to help them. And sometimes I would just spend hours with them and I wouldn't even sell anything. I'd clean up like their front room or feed their dog or take them to the dollar store. And I couldn't help but not do it, because I knew that when I left, there wasn't going to be anyone that was going to help them. And so, from time to time, Darren being my mentor, I would call and I'd be like, you won't believe, what I just went through. You won't believe this house that I was just at. And I think that that really pulled the heartstrings between his father, and family going through that. And just, I have a lot of military in my family. I know how it works with the VA. And then just seeing these veterans out here and just not having anyone to help, knowledge, even the VA. The VA is without bad mouthing the VA. There is very good things the VA does, but the VA a lot of the times is set up, for the veteran and the family to fail, because they just can't get through all the hoops and ladders to be able to get the benefits or the things that are needed. So the short of that, or the long of that rather, is, um, that is who we are in this vertical. It's a lot more than, as I would tell the other folks that I had it a couple months ago. It's a lot more work. It's a lot more heart. But you're going to get the same money. You're not going to get paid anymore. So you really have to want and have a desire, to help this group of folks, these veterans. It takes a little bit more time on the phone sometimes, a little bit more explanation, definitely more integrity. You become a real friend. It's really not, a financial product where you sit and you go over the inventory, and you'll do an annual review and maybe send them an email or a birthday card. These folks are, they believe you when you tell them that they care. So then they have your phone number and you're going to follow up with them and you're going to talk to them and you're going to give them this grace that generally doesn't formulate in the financial world. So that's kind of the first part of the intro to this that I'd like to express is, and Darren has asked me to express this way. It definitely takes, someone that is acclimated to really want to help, this community of people beyond writing an insurance policy. There's a lot of things that we educate them with over the phone that they generally don't know that they're going to receive from the VA, or they have to at least file or have their bride or widow file for once they pass. There's things that we do for them, like get online and maybe, order them a new DD 214, or, go through what's going on with the VA. Maybe we're helping them in some way like that. Um, but there's just an institute in this that, your normal, I would say that they put this in a final expense category, because generally with the health and the age of the veterans, it is a whole life product that's being used. So it has the label of final expense. However, you will find some are in great health, and you sometimes will be able to pivot to a different type of product, an IUL or a term. But generally, it is a whole life product because of the age, because of the health, and because of the budget.
Okay.
But what
That's
you
all.
will find is the integrity of the veterans, not that final expense people don't have this, but there is a higher margin and a better persistency with the veterans as far as how they're going to pay and follow up with the policies. And that is definitely a culture that I didn't invent. That is something that we have found throughout the years. So there's a lot of pluses and advantages with having the veterans as far as your book of business. That's something you can generally count on, is they're going to make a commitment to pay on the policies for their families to invest. Um, but there's more.
Yeah,
You know, those calls are not 30 to 45-minute calls. We're generally on the phone with them an hour to possibly an hour 15 minutes is kind of your regular flow of things, because we're giving them more. I'm going to let Darren interject and then I'll continue.
And then hey, hold that thought. Um, so the leads that we're going to be working with this, and Trish and I, we were trying to determine, do we want to go back to our old lead that we used to work before, or do we want to be that lead vendor, you know? And the reality is, when you're promoting your own leads, there's a lot of fluctuation, ups and downs. Sometimes they're coming in at $7, $8 a lead. Sometimes they're coming in at $40 a lead, right? And there was a lot of fluctuation of how many you're going to get, depending on what state you're running and all that. And so, what we decided here was the Kaboom leads are working very well with Daniel and his team. We know what we're getting with Kaboom. So we met yesterday with Jonah with Caboom Leads. They have a veterans lead already generating, that we're gonna use their platform instead of us trying to create our own. We do got some really good leads ads that we run, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use Kaboom. Why? Because they got phone verified. And though that's a really big deal, they're going to be the exact same thing that Daniel's getting with Final Expense, except it's a niche market, right? So it goes to veterans, and we're going to talk about that, what that lead looks like. But the only reason I wanted to interject here is the leads that we're going to be getting from Kaboom are age range 40 to 80. Now, what did that mean? Someone 40 years old, they might be looking for a term policy for their family. So with these leads, the leads that Trisha and I used to work were almost all primarily final expense. But with the leads that we're going to be getting, you will have the opportunity to sell some IULs, some debt-free life programs. So just know that will. So Trish, that's going to change a little bit because of the type of lead. But I just want to say that, and then I want to get back to you and let you piggyback off what we're saying.
Yeah, that is wonderful because we didn't have that lower age. So that will be again, the more people you have an opportunity to talk to, the more opportunities you have to serve a family. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I did listen to part of that yesterday. I thought it's so cost effective and it's such an emergency situation to have those leads vetted already, that they're legal for us and those people are approachable to call. That in itself I would rather have than even trusting myself that I went through a campaign and vetted them. So they're on the hook for the liability, and Darren's doing it very smart, to have an outsource um, run that. That way we're not caught up in a phone call that where we shouldn't be calling someone on the DNC list or whatever. Another thing that I liked yesterday, that was I have not heard of and also not worked, and I don't know anyone that has did it. The content was just as good as I've ever seen, but then they had a rating of their disability on the lead that they're actually filling out, and they're giving us disclosure of that, and that is huge because that is really giving us a finite view of kind of their health up front. Because if they're 100% disabled, we kind of know where we're going with that. And so there's some neat content that go with these leads, super cost effective. I believe that a lot of the veterans programs, and I can say this for myself, have not yet taken off because of not having that consistent flow or enough content in some of those, or just being kind of like the regular pro C that you see online. So it's exciting, because Kaboom is by far the most astounding best lead vendor that we've came across in many, many years. And then the working relationship that Agents First has with them, they're in America. They're answering the phone. They're very much a part and on call for us. So that if you don't understand that or you've never been a part of that, there is an appreciation that is just amazing to have those things in an IMO. Unless I say IMO. Is this an IMO or is it an agency?
FMO,
Whatever we call this.
yeah.
But there's just a lot to be excited about because we've got scripts built, we've got ads, we've got things that we're going to be able to give this time around that we're ready to do it. We don't have to, figure this out this time. So we're kind of, able to hit the ground running with training. I was speaking yesterday. I gave you the wrong number, Darren. I gave you 2817.
Hmm.
The number is 2187, excuse me. And that is the MacArthur bill, November of 2024, that changed. It was always around 896 if you died in a veterans hospital. And then it went down from there in the death allocation. A new administration came in and now it's 987 for this and 987 for this and 231. So it breaks down in three parts, but it's a lot more money. And the education that we're able to give them and how we're able to sell this is very brilliant. So I don't know if we're going to do the training today. I think that's going to be another day.
Right.
This was more of an open forum to let you know that this is extremely exciting. This isn't like we're just interested in veterans, so we're going to start a new niche. We have actually been in the ditch with this thing for about 3 years.
Yep.
We've wrestled, we've armed, we've snipered. I mean, we did everything. And now we've gotten to the point where like, okay, I think we've mastered this. Now let's just get a good lead flow. Let's train and whoever's interested that has a heart for this. And that's important. And I want to make sure you guys know that it's okay if you don't want to do this because that doesn't mean that you don't have a heart or you're heartless. It just means that you'd rather do something on the financial side. And we realize that. And we realize there's also just certain butts for certain seats.
Yep.
And so we just wanted to let you know that first of all, we're not the judge of the jury. We love all of you. And whatever you are doing or multiple things that you're doing is wonderful. But this particular vertical is definitely for the one that is okay with spending a little bit more time. It's for the one that's going to hear a lot of really unique, wonderful, have touched my life
Yeah.
stories. I mean, just changed my life stories. And I love to help them. I love to spend time with them. I love to see them win at the end, whatever it is. I don't care if it's getting more groceries on their plate or getting a little bit of savings on their electricity. But that is what we're going to go to in this program. And we're going to just take the torch and we're going to lead from the front. Our momentum, like you guys are getting ready to go through on this great conference, the momentum for the veterans is to serve the ones that served us first, truly serve them in more ways than just insurance and become an advocate and a voice for these people that need it. So that's where we are, Darren.
So Trisha is absolutely right. This is not some program that we're just saying, hey, let's go try. This is a tried and true program that we've done for years. We've taken this program and we've actually moved it and kind of gave it to another company who didn't embrace it the way. And you know what? I kind of take that on myself because how can you? This was our vision, right? It was my heart. It was my vision. It was based on. It centered around my dad's story, and then I expected somebody to catch my vision, but that's hard to pass on to somebody, right? And so I'm so more than thrilled, honored that we're bringing it back home where it belongs. And that's just reality. Veteran First is home. And this is something that we've worked so hard on over the years. And we finally brought it back to where it belongs. And it's back in Agents First home. And so we're excited about that. But I'm going to tell you something. This young lady over here, Miss Trish, has I'm pointing here, but she's there, I think. Anyway, so Miss Trisha put together for about 3 months a platform. Trisha, without digging in, can you share the screen with what you put together? And this is going to be put. We're actually going to be able to using the link tree that Daniel worked with us yesterday. they're going to be able to share this while you got them on the phone, and they're going to save it to their phone, and they will have access to this memorial. Or tell us what it is that you're we're going to be giving the veterans.
So this is basically like a combination of the VA guide, my research from several veterans, and then literally spending hours and hours Googling resources and helplines, phone numbers, outreaches, ministries, people that come and will build a wood deck out of their own pocket for amputees out of the back of their home. I mean, it is amazing, honestly. It's so much, and I'm figuring out how to do this. So give me one second.
Yeah.
It's so much that you can't hardly even wrap your mind around it at first look. It's something that, it's a guide. We're calling it the guide because I used the first page of the VA guide, but then I added so much to this thing. Um, but this is something that during the call, during the close, I don't even care if you close them. Every one of them deserve it. I would tell you, regardless if there's something sold or not, this is something that, and I think on the training day, if you guys did not see Daniel's training on this, I would insist that you go to YouTube and watch it, or the archives, however Darren has this set
It'll be
up.
on YouTube.
One Daniel is absolutely amazing. He's brilliant at figuring out how to brand something and then make it come alive. And that is what he did with this. So I'm looking forward to later today picking his brain on doing the same thing with Veterans First. I just want it to, when people click on the link, it becomes a new journey, a new season, right? They feel helped. They feel like they found something with us. And we become that touch point in this country with the veterans. Like, have you heard of Veterans First? It's where sooner or later I'd like to see ball caps and different stuff for our vets, and we have a brand out there, and we become the known advocates, the known insurance people that can help the veterans, right? And that's Darren's vision as well. We've always said that. Let me try to share this,
Hmm.
and you can see a little bit of me running through this. So, okay, can you see that?
Yeah, we can.
So I'm going to try to click through here. If there's anything from if they become in need of mental health to if they're homeless, subsidized income, benefits for their widows, forms, many forms are in here, many links to it, how to get the death benefits, um, things about everything about their medical, whether it be VA medical, their cards, um, if they have sexual trauma, healthcare trauma, their financial reporting, how to save taxes as a veteran on their home, what to write off, free tax CPAs for the veterans, advocates in their counties, national cemetery maps, making reservations, eligibility for all different types. Right now, the big one is the Blue Heron Act, which was started about 5 years ago, and that was if you were stationed within 111 miles of where the Agent Orange was actually dispersed. And now you're seeing these veterans go from 30 and 40%. They've had cancer, they've had amputations, it's been horrible. And now they're late stages of life, but they're receiving $5,000 and $6,000 a month in full disability because the military was at fault for that Agent Orange being displaced. And so, to be able to give someone a resource or a phone number, because some of these folks never get online, they don't know who to talk to, and the VA is not knocking on their door offering any of these things. Their family doesn't know any better typically. And so to be able to help, I could go into the story about my Native American Indians about 4 years ago. They were a lead on Darren's campaign, and they were out of New Mexico, and they lived basically a couple miles outside of the reservation, and they just wanted a burial policy on the land, and got to talking to them, and the gentleman was like, I haven't used the VA medical for 20 plus years. I basically hate them. They mistreated me, blah, blah, blah. I go to the reservation and I pay whatever the donation is out of pocket. And I had just recently read about this where the VA started to pay for if a veteran in a certain amount of miles could not get to the VA hospital or clinic, that they were going to reimburse this out of care to personal primary doctors. And so I just Googled this out of New York, this new tribal thing, and I started reading and I called Darren and I'm like, you think it's worth a shot? And he's like, yeah, I guess. He was, kind of like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I get a hold of this lady in New York and she gets a hold of someone else. She calls back 3 days later. She says, can I have their phone number? I didn't talk to him. I wrote him two policies. A month later, he calls me, the wife calls me. They're literally sobbing on the other end of the phone. They received a check for 17 some $1,000 in back pay for the last 10 years of out of pocket that they had paid the reservation for medical care. And they were able to share this with the rest of the Native American Indians that served in our military. And those they're still in the books with Aetna, but the point of it is, it took like I don't know 10 minutes of phone calls, and it pulled a lifelong of not they needed the money, but they told Darren and I. Darren ended up selling something else to him later, but they told Darren and I, if you ever are in New Mexico, because they live next to where Tombstone is out there. If you're ever in New Mexico, you have a place to stay, But you have these relationships, and these just wonderful situations that with these people that need help, and it's very interesting when you start to peel the onion back what's going on in their lives and just really what they are entitled to, and that's what we do. We kind of open Pandora's box, and these good folks that need some help, we're able to share with them what they actually can get help with.
Isn't that a great story, guys? That's what I'm talking about. So the veterans will be a little bit more detailed, and put a little bit more time into it, and but that's okay, right? Isn't that our job, to really take time? Because guess what? You think those people are ever going to leave you? The persistency with your veterans when you do it right, is going to be off the charts. And the referrals you get when you do it right. Now, here's the deal. There's a lot of insurance companies out there selling to veterans. Why? Because the age demographic. Everybody in that age demographic was in the military. It's just the way you grew up. You went to the military. And now they're reaching that age that's dealing with final expense, but they almost all, men and women, were in the military at some point. So it's pretty common. So what do the final expense agents do? Hey, let's hit the veterans, right? But all they're getting now is a young kid, these kids who don't care about the veterans. They care about making another dollar on another sale. And that's what's going on out there. That is not Agents First. And if that's you, you're not going to be selling under Veterans First. We're not going to let you. This program is near and dear to my heart, to Trisha's heart, and it's based on the memorial of my father. And if you think I'm going to let some kid come on here and try to sell and steal another dime from a senior veteran and try to make profit off of it, you're going to come in there, you're going to serve, and you're going to do it with the right heart and the right mindset. Now, if you do that, I can assure you, you'll make more money you've ever made in your lifetime. Guys, I've made $100,000 every 10 weeks when I was doing veterans. That I made more money selling to veterans than I ever have. But I never felt like I was doing it for the money. I was rewarded very well, but it wasn't never one time about the money. I would talk them down instead of talking them up to make sure that they could afford it. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing. For some reason, I got up Saturday morning and I told my wife, I said, babe, let's go to, or Sunday, it was Sunday. We wound up going Sunday. Listen church on the way up there, but we needed to break. And we went up to the state fair, last day of the state fair. And we went to the state fair in Oklahoma on Sunday. And while we were there, I don't stop at booths really, but there's some, but there was something about veterans. And I walked past it and I told my wife, I'm going to go back. I don't know why, but I'm going to go back and see what they're doing. And I went back and talked to them. And this is who they are, the Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs. That's who the company is. They're actually a part of they are the Veterans Affairs, the Department of Veterans Affairs. and we're talking. And she says to me, she says, I said, what is it you guys do? And she says, well, we help our veterans in every sense of the way. It's a free service. It's a totally free service. So if you have a veteran that is needing to up their disability from a 5 to an 8 or 8 to a 10 or whatever it might be, up their ratings. She said they follow all the paperwork and they help them do that for free. Guys, we never knew who to call. I was sending them to this other company called Guardian or something like that, who was charging them an arm and a leg, but at least they were getting help, you know. But now we found, so she's telling me about this, and then she says we help with housing. We help them find jobs. We put them in jobs. It's just the Department of Veterans Affairs. And I said, let me tell you who I am. I said, I'm the CEO of an FMO called Agents First. We are starting a new veterans program again, and we serve veterans in the sense of helping them with final expenses and life insurance. And we truly become an advocate for them. And I explained all the stuff we do as far as working with the help them get arrangements for military funerals and all the stuff that we can do within our advocacy program. And she said she loved it. She said, and I said, but here's the deal: could we possibly take our veterans and pass our information to you guys and let you help them after we do our? She said we would love to partner with you. And I said, well, she said, we're only in Oklahoma, but we have a chapter in every state in the United States. So every state has their Department of Veteran Affairs. And she said, I can get you the numbers to every state. Guys, this was something we've never had before. Trisha and I didn't have. So now, truly, when you're talking to your veterans, not only do they get the resource guide that Trisha built, but we've got an advocacy program that we're going to turn them over to if they need further assistance and further help. And that just fell in my lap on Sunday. For some reason, I felt, an urge to go to the state fair and
Oh
look
no,
what I ran
that was
into.
definitely all a plan.
I think
That was
so.
all a
I think
plan.
so. And then on top of all this, Daniel, can you go to our website, or any of you, put share the screen? Daniel, go to share the screen,
Yeah.
and I want you to go to our website and then go to show them where Titan Casket is. Now, I know we told my advisory board that we were going to be talking about this morning, but I think we kind of have a precedent to introduce veterans. But we're going to show you now how you're going to use the Titan caskets. So if you notice, when you go to our website, you're going to see Titan caskets right there. This is our partner company that we work with. Offers wholesale funeral home supplies, next day shipping, 70% off from what they would get at a funeral home. Okay, if you go to shop, you can go to shop caskets or shop urns. If you're doing a, you know, cremation, they can get their urns here. If you're going there now on here, let's go to military. Go back up and go to military caskets. Is that what you did, veterans?
So it's actually just right there. You have
Okay,
veteran select, you have
perfect.
specific for US Navy, Marines, Army, all of that. But let's look
All
at
right.
veteran select.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to go to the veterans, right? And we're going to look at the different ones. And this is, you can literally send them here. Look at this casket. Beautiful. If they were in the U.S. Army, can you imagine if you were in the
Every
Army?
I gotta interject. I'm gonna tell you, and yes, we still are a salespeople that, we still have a job to do. But I want to tell you, you guys did some training with Misha, the gentleman yesterday, all these just sharks, these outstanding people, Daniel. And a good salesperson is able to honestly just ask the right questions, and the client is closing their self because the urgency is right. If you ever wanted a client, a veteran, to close their self, the minute, Darren, they see that beautiful, honorable
Mhm.
casket, it becomes tangible. It all gets put together in their mind. They start to emotionally appeal to their heart. They're thinking about their family actually seeing them for the last time in this encasement. And it really is, there's such excitement when I'm able to show them the casket if they're being buried and it's not a cremation. At that moment, almost every single time, if the moons are aligned, they're ready to go because they have looked at that and they have thought to themselves, that is amazing. And those caskets are so amazing. They're absolutely gorgeous.
No doubt, no doubt. And so you can imagine that all the things that we're offering them, discounted, shopping for them, make sure we get not just a carrier, but the carrier that makes the most sense. We're going to help them with if they want to be buried in a national cemetery, what that looks like, help them with that. Pass them on to the Department of Veterans Affairs if we need to do that. We're going to give them the Veterans Memorial Guide. We're going to send them a link through Linktree where they're going to actually do that. Or Misha showed us how to use a share screen that you can literally on your phone share the screen with them, and you can look at the caskets on your phone, like on your computer, on their phone while you're doing that. And use that share screen and let them pick it out right then and there. Guys, this is taking it to a whole other level of sales. Now, when you get finished this, you're not that 25-year-old kid that's just trying to sell a policy to a veteran, are you? Can you see what we've done here and how you have created this? These guys will not leave you. And then when you show them the caskets and the 70% off of that, that price on that casket, Daniel, was that around the $2,000 casket, 2,100? If you
24.95.
for that casket, 24.95, you're going to spend about $8,000 to $10,000 if you try to order that casket from a funeral home. Now, first of all, the funeral homes are not going to be able to get those caskets for the most part, unless they special ordered it. But they're not going to be available to them in the funeral home. They have usually they're select 8 to 10 caskets that you got to go in there and you pick from. These will be able to get these shipped overnight. So you can see what we're doing here. And we're going to build these things out. So there'll be a lot more training involved. Tell me what you guys think. Put in chats, open up. We're going to open up for discussion. And then we're going to turn this last few minutes over to Kat. And we're going to talk about our convention or momentum. But let's talk about what's your thoughts on Veterans First coming home.
If I could, I want to kind of jump in here. I want to kind of just stress the heart that not just Trisha has, but is required for the veterans. Trisha, can I ask you a quick question? How many times have you talked to a veteran and showed them the resource guide and different things that they could qualify for and need, and you didn't make a penny?
Yeah, I was telling you, I think the other day, probably about 20% of the time, I shared with you
Listen to
this
this.
morning that you're going to run into veterans that are homeless and they just are crying out. I actually told Daniel I had a veteran that was in Cincinnati and they had actually cut part of his disability. He was in between the shift of it. He had lost everything. And I ended up getting on the phone with the VA in Cincinnati and doing a call a ride. And they picked him up the next day at a gas station and took him into the Cincinnati VA shelter. And he was able to have at least a roof over his head and some food. And those are times where you become very selfless. It is not about you. But this is what I can 1000% guarantee you God does. The
Mhm.
minute that that was fulfilled, God allowed another sale in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot because that's how it works in this particular vertical. You may not always sell, but God is watching. This is a different deal here. So your heart is appealed to just really helping. You're not counting the money in this. You're not counting the coins. I've lived that too, and there's a place for that. This is kind of like don't set any standard for every person that you're going to get on the phone. You walk into it trying to solve their problem and advocate for them. Darren just told you he made more money doing this in 10 weeks. And it wasn't that he actually made the money. I believe God rewards it because you're just constantly steadfast trying to help these folks. I know it's like probably to a lot of you guys, maybe it's like that's a risk. I want to know, but this is just this different niche. Just going to be a
Yeah.
different personality to do this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody have any comments, questions? I will say this is a whole nother recruiting area that we hadn't even talked about, but how many of you know veterans that would like to serve other veterans, but maybe didn't know how to do it, right? Now we can go after and say, look, Agents First has opened up a veterans program, and we want veterans for this program. And we'll help you get started. And you can go to the same program, that Fast Start program, the 0 to $100,000 job in 120 days. Guys, we got people going to college for 6 years and making a $50,000 a year job.
And here,
120 days having a six-figure income.
and here I would like to go as far as this, and I can speak for Darren. I'm just off the cuff. If you have a veteran in your family and they're on fixed income, they're needing a better quality of life, like sponsor them. We will get them through the licensing. We will get them through the training. Let's change their life together. You have a neighbor, you have somebody in your church, your community, and you know that this would be perfect because they would be able to talk to other veterans, and maybe it's something they need to do remotely because they can't physically get out of the house. Sponsor them, pull them up in the community, and we will do our diligence. We will do everything on our side to support them, whether it be the training, the licensing, whatever, to get them going in this part of their life. That we want to make sure it's not. Darren and I both agreed we didn't just want it to be about the sales. We just as much want to be able to hire veterans to be able to have a better quality of life, that they can actually work from home and remotely.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so no questions. Anybody? Kat, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you're chomping at the bits to tell us what's going on with the momentum, and she is. Look how beautiful Kat is today, and love your background, love all that. Kat, tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm so excited. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. I was actually going to comment on that casket once it was my turn, so I didn't take up anybody's. But we went to get a Navy casket, and it was right around $12,000 because we had to pay for shipping to our town. And then I got onto Titan and saw it. It was like 26
Yep.
for that one that we wanted. And I was like, had I known, 6-7 years ago, beautiful casket. So it is true. They are such an underserved population. So that was so good. And Crystal and I used to work at a veteran-owned insurance and financial firm, and it is crazy the resources they lack and the gatekeeping on veterans. I don't know why. They serve and protect our country. So that was beautiful. So thank you so much, Darren and Trisha, for that. We're less than 3 weeks away from Momentum 2025. This isn't just another conference. This is the room where business leaders, entrepreneurs are pulling, and insurance agents, of course, are pulling back the curtain and sharing the real strategies that they're using right now in the business. You're not going to be attending another event, guys. So you're getting a front row seat to insider conversations, and that just doesn't happen anywhere else. So I wanted to, again, we're going to share the video, we'll get a little hype again. I love this video, so I could share it every day. I do watch it about every day. Okay.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Nick Bravo, Momentum 2025, the Strat Hotel, Las Vegas, October 13th to the 15th. Be there. This isn't your typical insurance event. It's not going to be boring. Sure, they're going to have technical information. You got to actually know your industry to implement, but it's about the mindset. It's about the focus. It's about the diligence. It's about the creativity. It's about thinking outside of the box. I'm going to be able to host part of the event. I'm going to be a keynote speaker. I'm going to be doing some motivational rap. They have other great speakers there like Cody Atkins, the one and only. So if you want to be there, continue to level up your game, continue to level up your mindset, continue to change your belief system so you can change your outcomes. This is the event for you. Come through. Looking forward to seeing you. And if you're not going to be there, well, you're going to miss out. Peace.
And then Cody Askett actually did a video for us, and it's going nationwide out there, isn't it, Kat?
It is, and it's really exciting because it's attracted the attention of Nick's network, which is really unique. He's got business, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, just different unique business leaders, and that has caught their attention. So they're going to be some of the keynote speakers. Darren keeps pulling in really high top producers from other companies that we're squeezing in just to give you guys as many nuggets as we possibly can. So at Momentum, you're stepping into a mastermind that's disguised as a conference, which is so unique. So day one, we have some courage and fun. Leaders are going to be testing bold ways to break through walls and connect with people. Day two, it's going to be our abundance and innovation, the exact strategies that leaders are using to scale, shared live in real time. And then day three, we're going to have transparency and community, the raw truth, leaders admitting mistakes, sharing lessons, and opening up like you've never seen on stage before. This is your chance to be in a room where those conversations are going to be happening and to leave with strategies that you can put in your business immediately. Here's the difference between attendees and the leaders. Attendees show up completely for ourselves. We just come to the conference and attend, and leaders bring people with them. So who do you know that needs to be in this room of leaders who would benefit from seeing behind the curtains with you? And who is it that you really need to invite? So if you invite 5 others, we're going to give you that elite ticket for free. So you get to be in the mastermind every day with people like Nick Bravo, Cody Askins. Eric Olson is, he has a few multi-billion-dollar companies. He's going to be talking on how he took his creativity and used that in blue collar jobs. And you're going to get to learn from him. Oh, sorry. Was that somebody have a question? Oh, no. Okay. So momentum isn't something that you can just catch later. So I already feel the momentum with our agents, the things that are happening behind the scenes, but momentum isn't something that you guys can catch up on later. So you're either in the room hearing the playbook being written, which is what's happening. This is an exciting opportunity to be around people that I've personally been mentored by and or looked up to. YouTube, they're nationwide people. And you can get just insider facts straight from them and build long-lasting relationships. So if you guys invite 5 people, you get the mastermind lunches each day where you can post content, build your business, ask them, get feedback right from the top. And if you get, so it's 5 agents, and then I was just telling Crystal before this, if whoever invites the most agents in between now and next Friday, I'm going to personally give $100 to, so I'll Venmo that or Cash App that to you, just a little competition in-house, because I believe that this is so impactful for you to be at. I've drove across states to be in rooms like this and to have all of these people coming together because they believe in what we're doing. It's just a unique thing. We might have other people. What time and day is the mastermind meetings? It will be during the lunch hour of each day. So during the lunch, we're going to have lunch brought in. Darren and his wife are working on that, and we'll figure that all out. But we'll get lunch served to you guys. That way you have the full hour and a half to utilize those business leaders. So short recap, you guys, whoever is the #1 agent to invite, and they have a guest spot. So just have them put your first name, or if you know their name, we can check that list. And I'll be giving $100 next Friday in our CEO talk of my own money, just because I believe in this so much. So any other questions about momentum other than the mastermind meeting? I don't want to keep you guys too far past the 10 o'clock hour.
Anybody get questions from Kat?
Code agent for, Daniel, will you throw in the links for the tickets in the hotel?
Yep.
And then if you use code agent at the ticket, you get 50% off of the ticket price. 5 agents invited, and you get that free elite. So if you don't want to pay for the elite one, go and invite 5 other people. I think Todd has already invited well over 5 people, so he has the elite. Do you have a question, Crystal? Your hand.
No question, but I just want to encourage like our team members. I know that we're not all able to do like videos or pump or promote, but definitely if we're friends or we're sharing content, please feel free to share. And if you don't know what to say, just copy and paste what we have in there and just share it, and make sure that you share it public, not just on your friends
Private,
page.
yeah.
But that will definitely help us amplify what we're doing in the move that we're on. We're all over here working in the backgrounds doing our thing, but as a team, if you guys see things, and you're just like, oh, well, I don't know what to put, or should I, or could I,
or reach out to us. Yeah, reach out to us, because Daniel, Crystal, and I have all been behind the scenes building each other up, and that's part of momentum, and that's so cool what Agents First is building. Like Trish, Daniel, or Big Red, Brian, Helen, Trisha, Misha, all of these people are behind the scenes building each other up, and that's what makes a community so good. You don't find that in other places where the agents are banding or banding together for success. Like we will be helping you with what to say, and it's okay to show up imperfect. Showing up is half the battle. So, just show up and be your authentic self. People are gonna flock to that and your willingness to help. Like that
Well,
is two big things.
Darren, you have got yourself a beautiful spokesperson. I actually thought that she was, with the background and you're well versed. And I think that, are you going to be doing any narrating or any of that emceeing at the
I
event?
am.
Good
I
for
am
you.
one of
You
the
should be.
co-hosts. Yeah.
That's your lane. Very
Yeah.
good. Good for you.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Well, see, and this is what you don't get in other places is people just building you up. It makes it so much easier for me to build up a company that's building me up. And when you see everyone that's so passionate about it, there's a reason that, we might not have all the newest technology at the current moment. We might not have the biggest building at the current moment for agents to come to, but we are building that, and it's going to be something different and accepting and making people feel human, because that's what we are. We're humans.
That's right. We always said, Darren, this is a safe place to win.
Yes, it's so true. And it's like, it might not be for everybody. We don't need everybody and their mama coming over. We want the good people serving good people. That's what this is about. So you want to get in this room because these are the business leaders that have made millions by being good people doing good things for others. And I have no doubt that you're going to walk away with a year, 2 years worth of tools.
It's going to be amazing. Kat, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. This is going to be fun. So, if you guys have watched the videos that they've created, her and Daniel and Danny, and have put together some really funny, good videos. Like Danny's is good, and Kat's was hilarious. It's so funny. It's so good. Like, yeah, I don't know, funny the wrong word I'm thinking of, but really clever because you're going to attract those young men that we talked about that who are these
That was
insurance.
Scott. That was Scott. He was there. Darren Scott was like, "You gotta make a video to this." I was like,
You've got
"Which one of
to
all of
listen.
them?"
Okay, you're going to show those two videos right now. Can you show those?
Okay, wait. Do you have them ready to go, Daniel Gutierrez? He has.
Gutierrez, can you help us out?
He normally has.
I want these videos to be seen by all. If you are not sharing these, share them. I shared it with my wife. She saw it. I said, "Baby," she just laughed. She said, "Are you going to share that?" I'm like, "Of course I am. I've got so many followers. Like I am." She said, "Yeah, share it then," and that she understood why we're doing it. So, yeah, I loved it. So.
It's so funny. I was definitely. I'm not one to be on camera. I typically am the one behind scenes. I like to help people. And it was funny in a meeting this past couple of weeks, or I think it was like last week, I was with the Dannies and they were like, "Well, when are you going to do it?" or something like that. Because I was helping everyone else on my team. So I was like, "Oh, shoot."
Wait till you guys see this. If you hadn't seen this yet, you'll love it. This is the professionalism these guys have. So, okay, share those, Danny, if you can.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, appreciate it.
Sorry.
So, this song can be stuck in your head all day too. That's okay, right? How many? Give me an amen if you've been singing this song.
The song has been stuck in my head for a week now.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, it's so funny.
What video are we pulling up, by the way?
Either one. You can do yours first if you have that ready, and then I can find mine real quick after. Okay, just pull yours up. Okay, and then we'll do mine.
So go to Agents First Insurance, find these and start sharing these, guys. We got 2 weeks. This is Daniel Gutierrez.
Daniel, you have to tell them what this event is all about.
When you guys haven't heard, okay, listen. Momentum 2025, Las Vegas at the Strat Hotel, October 13th through the 15th. This isn't going to be any ordinary conference. This is going to be an absolute takeover. I'm talking about being in the same exact room as some of the top producing agents in our industry, learning strategies you'll be able to put to work the very next day, and networking that's going to open doors you never even knew existed. So whether you're a brand new agent or a seasoned veteran, serious about leveling up your business, your network, and your success, go ahead and comment Momentum down below so I can DM you a link for more details. Or better yet, skip the line, hit that link in my bio, secure your spot today. I'll see y'all in Vegas.
Love it. Good job, Gutierrez. Proud of you, man.
Very, very good.
Yeah, check this one out.
Can you pull it up? Yeah, can you pull it up on the same Facebook, Danny?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, can you pull it up on the same Facebook? Like just go to the Agents First Facebook and pull up ours.
My son-in-law saw Gutierrez and he said, "Was that an AI?" I said, "No, man, that dude is ours." He said, "They thought you were an AI guy."
He's gonna pull it up. He's grabbing the Facebook. I have too many things pulled up on my screen for my next meeting, so I can't exit all out. Perfect. And then crystals will be on it too. So, and we really, honestly, we just we knew what we needed to do. We knew that the goal is to get people to momentum, and we just talked to people as in ways that we'd want to be talked to or hear the details. With mine, I obviously am just doing something that's social media trendy. You can just look up things that are trending, the audio that's trending, and then do different points to it. And if you really don't know how to break it up, throw the video, copy the link, put it into ChatGPT and say, make me a video script for like what I'm going to put on the TikTok that for this viral trending sound. That's literally what I put in there based on my.
Yep. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. Gutierrez, you got this?
Sorry, I'm trying to log into Facebook.
I don't know what happened to Kat. So. Guys, we're still here. I'm not sure what's going on with Kat's computer, or Zoom. You think we can show that, or you think it's what do we? Should I call her? Call Kat.
Yeah, because
I got it. I'm just gonna log into to my TikTok so I can share my screen. It'll be a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's the apocalypse in Iowa. The water. Okay, can you find it or no?
I've got it.
Perfect.
I've
Thank
got
you.
it.
Perfect.
Give me just 1 second. Of course, it's going to be slow. And maybe my internet might not be able to help. Technical difficulties, guys. Jeez.
Why is this the case?
Okay, here we go. We're making it somewhere.
When all you've been doing in Nashville is eating hot chicken.
Oh gosh. Boom.
Squad.
TikTok is so exciting with their ads.
It is so exciting with their ads. Let's see if I can find Kat.
Look at her with 1,900 followers.
Don't look at that. It's not enough.
Right there.
It's going slow, guys. I'm sorry. You got it?
Yeah.
You got it, Daniel?
Yeah, I have yours.
Yes, no.
Yes, he does. You can like get rid of your screen.
You can do that. I'll stop sharing while I find hers.
There we go. And then you'll be able to find mine on
We do crystals.
Perfect. Love it. Let's do it. I love it. I love their video.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Listen, we're taking over Las Vegas for the Momentum 2025 conference, and you do not want to miss this. This is where the movers, the shakers, and all the game changers are coming together to level up. We're talking massive networking, insane value from speakers and strategies. Guys, you're going to be able to put this to work the moment you leave. We've got ticket options for everybody, from general admission all the way up to VIP. These are experiences that'll get you in the room with face-to-face with the industry leaders. Guys, these seats are limited. So here's the deal. Comment Momentum down below, and I'll personally DM you the link and all the details. Or you can just lock it in right now. In the link in the bio below, just go on and lock it in. All right. See you in Vegas. Yo, what's up, everybody? Listen, we're taking over Las Vegas for the Momentum.
Look at that. Look at the momentum there. That's really going to be a neat atmosphere. And
And
then
then if you just go to their insurance page,
do
like
we
click
have
insurance.
cats? If not, we'll
I have cats pulled up,
okay.
but if you got it.
Keep going. It's down under there. Keep going. No, it's not maybe. There we go. You stop your share and Crystal will go to hers. Share yours, Crystal. But really, all of these just came from us sitting together, talking about what we were going to do, putting together some scripts, and all just going, we'll conquer and divide. Get me off your screen.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot, 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 hot? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was?
You played that again.
I'm gonna let God fix it. Because if I fix it, I'm going to jail.
Go to that. Go to the other one.
So good.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot, 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 hot? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me?
Short and sweet, but I'll tell you, the guys are going to come out just to see Kat, and oh my gosh, so we're gonna
And
be.
then I'll be running. And I'll be
Yeah,
running.
no, you got Scott and me gonna be your father
I'll
figure
hide.
there. We're gonna be very protective of you. And,
Kat, that will be your time to recruit a good team.
oh, no doubt. That's
I'll
she
just-
knows it too. We're gonna recruit a heck of a team.
I just have a whole team of hot buff guys. You don't know why. God.
The Chippendale dancers are gonna come line up at Kat's door right there. So,
Oh no.
guys, this is gonna be fun. Guys, Vegas coming up in just a little bit over 2 weeks. Get there, do whatever you take. I promise you, it will change your life. It'll be worth every dime plus tenfold, whatever you put into it. Don't miss it. Thank you for being on this call today. And you guys get busy. Have a good Friday. And just know we got big things coming up with Agents First, veterans, mortgage protection with Todd. That is a big deal. Daniel's running the final expense program. We got the Caboom leads running. Scott gets back next week. The advanced market's going to be back and running, up and going full throttle. Can't wait for that. And we still running. We got Helen and Misha and those guys and Teresa running that program. Don't forget it. Don't just because we talk about these other verticals, don't forget about what we currently got going on. Lots of good stuff. So we will see you guys around. Jump on here, and that's it for today. Love you guys. Bye. I'll be hanging out in Coach White's room.